Hey YouTube, it's Rabina. So this week I'm trying another challenge. If you've seen my previous video about my 7-day water fast, you know that I love to challenge my body in different ways. So this week I thought I would try a liver detox. I have some notes here, so I'll be looking down as I talk to you guys, but I'm really excited about the liver detox. I've already been doing a part of the detox this previous week just to get started, and I've already started eliminating some things out of my diet to see just how it would feel this previous week. But now, right now, starting now until Saturday is when I will do everything that's on the list for the liver detox. So what I'm gonna do is I'll tell you the things that I can't have, and I'll also make a list on the screen so you can read them as well as hear them. The things that I'm not gonna have is I'm not gonna have sugar, gluten, red meat, corn, tomatoes, mushrooms, oranges, bananas, green or black tea, dairy, coffee, or alcohol. There's certain things on this list that I put an E next to, and there's certain things that I put a D next to, and then there's some things that I put an asterisk next to because I was still kind of thinking about which way I was gonna go, and I'll let you know. For the red meat, I put a D next to that because I do like having steak, but for 1 week, it's fine, I can do without it. It's not something that I have every day anyway, but it's just like the thought of if the opportunity presented itself, would I exchange it for chicken or would I exchange it for seafood? For a week, I could do that. I really wanna see how long I can go with this beyond the week. So what I'm gonna do is just film a video now and let you guys know how I'm starting the detox and film all week long, and then like a montage, and then put them all together so you guys can see what I did during the week, what I ate, and just how it went. So D, I put a D for red meat because I thought that would be difficult, and I put an E for some things that are easy because I already do keto and low carb. I already am a Trim Healthy Mama. If you're familiar with the Trim Healthy Mama or the keto diet, those two diets focus on fats and protein. And then with Trim Healthy Mama, they do have some carbs that you're allowed to eat. Specifically with fruit, you're allowed to have sprouted grains like brown rice. You're allowed to have quinoa. You're allowed to have sourdough bread. So you are allowed to have some carbs in moderation with the Trim Healthy Mama diet. But if you're more familiar with keto, then you know the main focus is on fat and protein in that diet. So these are the things that are already not a part of my life and that I don't eat regularly just because of previous dietary experience. That would be corn, tomatoes. I don't really have mushrooms not because I don't like them, but I just don't, they're not the first vegetable when I go to the grocery store that I think, I should pick up some mushrooms now. Even though they do have a lot of good health benefits, they're just not one of the first ones that I think to pick up. So, and then the other things are oranges and bananas. Those two things, with the bananas, I have learned that none of the children really like bananas, and when I buy them, I usually end up making a Trim Healthy Mama banana bread with them, which is really good. I should film a video on that. That's super duper easy. I have some in the freezer right now. The next time we have bananas in the house, I'll make some and film it. But the kids don't really like it, so I just quit buying them. And then the same thing with oranges. I found that we really like apples in this family. We really like grapes. Right now, cherries are in, and the kids are absolutely loving cherries, and I love that they love them too because they're super easy to eat. They're small, so they're perfect for small hands. And they love them, so I love that they love them. Let's see, green and black tea. I do like green and black tea. Specifically, I like black tea, I like oolong tea, I do like green tea. So I like those type of teas, but I'm gonna switch to doing fruit teas. I'm gonna do this week what's called a Good Girl Moonshine, and that's a Trim Healthy Mama thing. I'll take you along and show you how to make a Good Girl Moonshine, my version of it, that I'm gonna be drinking throughout the week. And let's see, dairy, I put an asterisk by that because I am gonna eliminate dairy in the fact that I won't be having any like ice cream, cheese, milk, stuff like that. But I am still gonna be keeping butter in my diet because butter is a whole fat. So that, I know that kind of falls under the dairy category, but butter is a whole fat and so is ghee. So I am gonna be keeping those two things in my diet. The original list that I had for the liver cleanse said no eggs, but I am gonna still be keeping eggs in my diet because I do bake a lot with eggs when I do my low carb things. So I am gonna keep those in my diet just so that I can have those baked goods. I already use erythritol, xylitol, and stevia as sweeteners when I'm cooking since I do low carbs. So those things I'm keeping, that doesn't change. And as far as the sugar, that just means I will be reaching for sugary foods. And then, like I said, alcohol, I'm good there because it's not a normal part of my everyday life. So that's not gonna be something. One thing I am gonna have to make for this cleanse, the part that I have been doing this week, is drinking celery juice. I've been making a mixture of celery, apple, and lemon. Celery, apple, lemon, and ginger. And so I've been making that kind of, I make a large amount of it, but I break it in half so it lasts me 2 days. So it's like every 2 days I make a new batch for the next 2 days. And that has worked for me. And I'll show you guys how I make that too. And I think that is it. I got my replacement already for coffee, the Dandy Blend Instant Beverage Mix. That's my replacement for coffee. I'm doing that with unsweetened almond milk and some stevia. I've had 2 cups today. I had one that I did cinnamon and nutmeg in, and then I had another one that I made a bulletproof version of, which is where I added a tablespoon of butter, and then I even added half a teaspoon of cocoa powder to make it kind of chocolatey, and I really liked that way as well. I did film that. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Look what we're trying today. This Dandy Blend Instant Herbal Beverage that is supposed to taste like coffee. So here I have some keto creamer powder mixed in with 6 ounces of hot water. I'm gonna go get the hot almond milk, unsweetened almond milk out of the microwave, and we're gonna froth it. Okay, so now we're gonna froth it. So I have Henry frothing the milk over here, and then to add to the milk, we're gonna add vanilla, salt, nutmeg, and cinnamon. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the Dandy Blend mix. Then we're gonna add our frothy milk last. And then we added our frothy milk to the drink. And now we're gonna taste it. That's it. For this challenge. I love doing challenges. I only have one filmed out here on my channel already, and that was when I tried to do a 1-week water fast. So I'm going to try and see if I can do this. This actually involves food, so it should be relatively simple. We're going to go to the kitchen right now, and we're going to meal prep some chicken that I'm going to use for the week.
Okay, so this was a really quick, simple recipe of just rosemary, olive oil, a few seasonings from my cabinet that I like. Mix that all together. I added some garlic salt, some lemon juice.
While that's cooking, we're gonna make tea as well. Check it out, look how pretty that is. And the chicken is cooking nicely. That's almost done. So my good girl moonshine is done and the chicken is done. Here's the container I'm keeping it in. It's just a quart jar. And what I'm gonna put in it is this ginger in here with a tea to store in the refrigerator. And then when I get a cup of it, I will just add fresh apple cider vinegar because I don't want to add the apple cider vinegar while this is hot, but it's okay to add the ginger while this is hot. Okay, look how pretty this looks. I probably put about a tablespoon of this ginger into this quart jar with the tea, and then I put 1/4 of a cup of erythritol to sweeten it while the tea was brewing so that the erythritol could melt. That will help with the sweetener. And then this is my chicken that I have here. And I just threw a little bit of onion that I had in the refrigerator on there. And what I'm gonna do is to store it, I'll put it in a Tupperware container and I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in between each breast so that while it's still hot, it can just kind of melt. And that's how I'm gonna store them. For this celery drink, what I'm gonna do is, I don't have measurements for any of this, but I am using another quart jar that's gonna last me 2 days. I fill it up about 3/4. You can use whatever kind of water you want to. I'm using alkaline water. And then Lemon juice. Lemon juice. If you have a juicer, use your juicer for this. I don't have a juicer. I have a Blendtec, and it works just as well. A Vitamix will do the same thing for you. It will work just as well. So I'm using my Blendtec for this. I took 4 stalks of celery, and I'm just chopping them up, leaves and all. Throw that in there, and then I'm going to squeeze about a tablespoon worth of ginger. And I'm just going to store it in this jar. I'm just going to put these 2 in the refrigerator. Okay, so that's my prep for day 1 of the liver cleanse. See you guys on day 2.
This is what it looks like when you're doing a liver cleanse. I have my Good Girl Moonshine, I have my green juice, I have lemon juice and apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to fill these 2 containers and take them with me to the office. Walking into work, I have my Dandy Blend, I have my Good Girl Moonshine in this bag right here. I've got my celery juice, and I've got my alkaline water.
I just wanted to come on here really quick and talk about the why I'm doing the liver fast and what it helps. So right now we're just going to talk about the why and the what. Let's talk about the liver. The liver is one of the largest organs in your body. Actually, it is the largest in your body, and it removes toxins from the protein-rich foods that we eat, such as meat. It also provides chemicals to aid in digestion. It helps the small intestine absorb fat, cholesterol, and some vitamins. It helps with absorbing and metabolizing bilirubin, which helps with that's part of your blood levels. Like if you have a newborn and they have jaundice, that oranging of their skin, that's because their liver at that point is so sensitive to bilirubin so that their levels are higher, so they get that orange tint to their skin. And so putting them under a heat light will help their liver to metabolize that and take away that oranging of their skin. It also supports blood clots. It helps with fat metabolization and carbs. So it helps your body metabolize carbs and fats. And if you think about some diseases concerning the liver, you might have heard of fatty liver disease. This is a disease that often will plague people who are very heavy, or people who have diabetes and have complications from diabetes, or just people who are in poor health. See, the body moves fat and carbohydrates through the liver, but if there's nowhere for that to go, or if it's constantly being flooded with fat and with those unhealthy carbs, then it has nowhere to go. It just sits right there in the liver, and it's like a sponge just soaking it in. The liver is the only organ that can regenerate itself. So if you have a surgery and you have a partial liver removal, it's the only organ that can grow again, because it helps with so many different things. It filters your blood, it filters heavy metals coming into your body through your blood or through those proteins like we talked about through the food that we eat. It helps filter all that, and it also helps regulate your insulin. All of those processes happen through the liver. That's why it's important to eat those foods that are good for detoxing the liver, or every once in a while to actually do a liver detox. Because once your liver is detoxed, it's like a domino effect. It will help your gut. Everything will just be more harmonized in the body. I know for me, for my body, I tend to get really bloated. I tend to feel really drained of energy, really sluggish, but I can really tell whenever I've been eating poorly and I've been bad to my body as far as my food choices by how far out my belly extends. Let's talk about some foods that are great for detoxifying the liver just on a daily basis, and things that we should have in our diet to help that process along. Lemon is really good for that. That's why it's good to, if you have water and you're drinking, first of all, water is excellent. Water is, your body is made up of mostly water. So you need to replenish it with water. You should be drinking, doctors will tell you 8-ounce glasses a day, but I like to go by my body weight. Go by your body weight, cut that in half, and then take that number and drink it in ounces throughout the day. That will help your liver detox. It will help your whole body just run better. Don't worry about running to the bathroom. If you have a bathroom near you, go ahead and drink your water. The bathroom's right there. Use it as needed. That's another process in the body of detoxing the body. Sweating and urinating, and also the other stuff. Okay, so let's talk about some other foods that help detox the liver. Garlic, avocado, walnuts, leafy greens, grapefruits, broccoli, apple cider vinegar is another great one. Adding a little bit of apple cider vinegar to your water, or making the Good Girl Moonshine drink that I make, which is that fruit tea plus ginger plus the apple cider vinegar, and you can even splash a little bit of lemon in there too. Olive oil is another good one. Apples are great for detoxifying the liver, and so is turmeric. So the liver is very important to your entire body and your organ system. And so it's very important that that liver have good function so that it can do the job that God has designed it to do. So if you can get some of these foods into your diet, do it. If you do want to do a liver detox like what I'm doing, just consult your doctor first, because I am not a doctor. I'm just experimenting on my own body and using food to do that. So I think whenever you're using food as your medicine to help your body improve, you can only do better to yourself based off of those good food choices and those things that you're putting in your body in order to support function in your body, in order to support your overall health. So I am not a doctor, but do consult your doctor if it's something that's important to you. Otherwise, I will check in with you guys on part 2 of my liver cleanse. Thanks for watching.